All right. Welcome to Lifting the Veil. Those of you that are new, please subscribe. This is going to be another episode of Creatures Decoded. 5. One episode for each point of the creature's star. 5-pointed star. Also 8-pointed star, but in this case, 5 episodes. But we're going to start with Habakkuk, where it says, write down the revelation and make it plain on a tablet so that a hurdle may run with it. Cool. So that's what we're going to do. Got a book full of stuff. But we're going to write it down for those later on in all of this. Let's put it, where do we put it, Lord? This is going to be about the serpent skin. So we need to put it, where's the snake? I drew a snake. There it is. Alright, be exact. So let's read from, we've already quoted this before, guys, though. This is where God gives Adam and Eve, or Adam and his wife, so Adam and Eve, the coats of skin, but the biblical definition of skin, like we've already been through, is flesh or serpent skin. So we were all given serpent skin to clothe us. But anyways, that's what we're going to write down. That scripture, not the whole verse, just the scripture. The scripture's address. Oh yeah, I forgot. That's a cool thing right there. Let's do a spot where I can write serpent skin. And just as Yeshua says in scripture, it has been written. Wrote down Genesis 3:21. And then I wrote beside it, I drew a snake, and I wrote serpent skin. Got some hieroglyph type stuff in my book. It's pretty cool. Maybe one day somebody will read it. Alright. And I hope, just for those of you that someone does ever one day watch this video and they've found this book, do what I always do on here and start where I left off. Mind blown. You'll get so far. If you ever just picked up somewhere where someone left off, if you're into like figuring it out and you want to know what it is, just as we always say. Alright. Time of trouble, we've already been over that. That means female rival. Nation, I put in green because that means flight of lotus. Biblically, in the biblical Bible dictionary, those are their definitions. Again, we'll get E-sword soon, and I'll prove that all of that to you too. And then your minds will be even more blown. Creatures living, we don't need to go over that. Let's go through some photos of where we left off on that. So we obviously already went over the fact that that looks like a sheep face with the tongue sticking out. Also, guys, I don't know if you noticed, but I made it bigger so you guys can see it better. Also, you know what? Let's go to the new ones at the bottom, close to the bottom. Alright, where was... Is that it? Alright, that's it. So first off, it's also a snake. I mean, that matches up perfectly. Whoa. I mean, I guess we could drop it there. Or just, yeah, awesome. We just went right back. So you guys saw that. Sorry. I just about stabbed myself in the foot. Here is a better view of this. That this is actually that this is actually a male's penis and testicles. I'm using correct grammar on that, or correct speaking on that. I'm not using a derogatory sense. That is what it is. Period. Sorry, my niece is knocking on the door. I wanted to point out, again, this is the same agenda, that I was with that's why it's in Spanish. I was with a guy that I work with at the recording studio, and by the way, guys, the recording studio I do work at is Dallas Platinum Music Complex. If you're an artist, give it a check out. It's in Dallas, obviously. All right. So this was on the deal. He was getting his license renewed, or no, he was getting his passport renewed. And I noticed on his little bill, on his paper that he had. Now this is a colored version. The one that he had on his piece of paper was just black and white gray printed. But I noticed off the bat that obviously it's a big sheep face, as always. But also she's blindfolded. Again, meaning she's blind, or something's being held secret within their deal. Now, this was being held through the St. John's church that we went to, the Catholic church. I want to state this right here is an eye. This other ruby over here is another eye. There's the shape of the eyes. And then the overall sum of the shifting shadows, including the white. And just as we've also pointed out in temples all around the world, it's always got this little something going down on both sides, equal measurements, etc., etc. Also, this is the same exact stack of agenda. Check it out. This is the eye of the lotus. This is the eye of the lotus. That's that mainframe head that I'm always showing you guys right here. If you want to visually kind of draw it in, it's the main overall sum frame of that whole right there is the lotus's face. And then here you have the sheep's eye. And then here you have the other sheep's eye. And then obviously if you were to pull an Isaiah 29, there is always that face of that demon at the very bottom. There's one of his eyes. Here is another one of his eyes. There's his little weird devil face on the sides, side. And then, obviously, as always, it goes up and makes the horns with the blue right there and the blue right there. Same exact on the other side. Alright, I noticed that, and then obviously it's got the face of the snake. There's the eye. There's the eye. It's also a goat. Baphomet, if you will, whatever. And it's wearing a crown. This is its crown right here. And the serpent is wearing a crown. And if you wanted to say, these right here look a whole lot like, yeah, they're little freaking ribbons. But for reasons of it matching exactly the same, and same, 3 and 3, same exact piece, it's just copied. Looks just like little snakes to me. On top of a big snake with a big crown on his head, as always. Let's turn it back up again. Alright, and then there's the sheep's ears. The red is the sheep's ears. Let's go to some other stuff. I wanted to state this fact. This, I've told you guys, is a transmutation circle. It's very highly used in witchcraft, all kinds of different ones. It's all math to them. And this is a sky view of the White House, of the Statue of Liberty, obviously. Here's the poem that they wrote. We'll get to that later. I just wanted to point out, though, that she's sitting on one of those. I mean, harnessing power and like a teleporting type of thing for demonic spirits, yes. That's exactly what that is. Now, this I've shown you guys. If you turn this upside down, it makes the face of the lotus. Here's the lotus's face. It's coming up out of the ground right here. Here's the ground's area around it. It's wearing a crown of gold on its head right here. And then here is the bug's face. Here is its wings. Here's another wing right here. And then, as always, there's that little devil face at the very bottom when you turn almost all of them upside down. Also, right side up, I noticed that this right here with all of those little snakes, that's what that is. That's just a bunch of snakes. It's also an owl and a bunch of other, they hide in layers, like I always say. So this is technically this is a whole bunch of snakes just bundled up around his face. Now I matched that instantly to this. Now you know what you just saw, I just showed you. And that's what that is. That is a whole bunch of snakes around a face. That I'm pretty sure, let's see. No, nothing? Okay. Nothing right now. I might try to see if there's anything. I doubt it though. Usually God points it out. I don't need to look for it. It's always just right there in my face. Instantly. Alright guys. Let's see where we left off and where we are. Also I noticed that this was kind of random. I noticed that this one, here let me rotate this, I'm sorry. There we go. Alright. This though is again a sheep face. They did this gap on purpose right here. There, here, and here. This is just the whole decoding the creature, and this is how the creatures run their system. This is the language they speak. Here's the mouth area. You notice that this also has a gap at the exact same measurements of what happens to be a sheep face. And then here you also have this, and then this right here is obviously the extra shifting shadows for the tongue, as always. The tongue, mocking you. See you next episode. Love you guys.